Cable Sports presents the 1993 National Uechi Ryū Black Belt Karate Championships. Hello again, everyone. Brian Unsteer welcoming you to Clearwater High School for Vision Cable's coverage of the 1993 Uechi Ryū Black Belt National Karate Championships. My broadcast partner this evening is Dave Shapiro, who is a second-degree black belt in Uechi Ryū. And Dave, we've got a very full evening of Uechi Ryū karate for our viewers.
It is. It's a very exciting evening for us. It's a culmination of a week-long of training called our Koshikai, where masters from Okinawa and practitioners from across the United States have come to practice and train and enter into the tournament. Eliminations were earlier today, and tonight are the finals. We'll see some awesome sparring and some incredible breaking demonstrations illustrating our conditioning in this style.
We have some of the foremost masters of Uechi Ryū karate from around the world with us here this evening.
Yes, we do. We have with us Kirihiro Shinjo, whose father trained with Kane Uechi, who was the son of Kambu Uechi, who founded this style. Kirihiro is the chairman and president of the All Okinawan Karate Association and perhaps the foremost practitioner of karate in the world. His brother, Naruhiro, is also here. Master Rick Martin is our Godan, or fifth-degree black belt, who is the host for this evening's tournament and runs Rick Martin's Okinawan Karate Dojo in Largo in Florida here. Most of us practice with Rick. Rick is also a veteran of 7 world championships. He's 37 years old, has a brand new daughter who's just a couple of months old. James Hunan is our reigning champion. He won the kata as well as the sparring last year. We're particularly proud of James, who trained with Rick and worked in the dojo for many years, and then went on to FSU, graduated, went on to FSU Law School, and has just graduated from FSU Law School and has landed a job with a great law firm here in Clearwater, and will be continuing to practice in both karate and law here in Florida.
We'll be back with our opening ceremonies for the 1993 Uechi Ryū National Black Belt Karate Championships.
I would also like to acknowledge and introduce our Okinawan and American masters that have put an awful lot of energy into this, not only this year, but year after year. So I'd like to ask them to step forward, please, and I'll give personal introductions. To my far right, I would like to introduce Master James Foley from St. Louis, Missouri, 5th degree black belt. Master Rick Patrikas from Lake Worth, Florida, 5th degree black belt. Master Alan Dollar from Antioch, California, 6th degree black belt. All the way from Okinawa, Japan, Master Peter Kellogg was born and raised in Sarasota and moved to Okinawa, Japan at 18 years of age and has remained there for the last 20 years in his pursuit of authentic martial arts. Master Peter Kellogg, 6th degree black belt. Next from Okinawa, Japan, 6th degree black belt, Master Narahito Shinjo. And the senior official and black belt of this delegation from Okinawa, Japan, Master Kyohide Shinjo.
And next we're going to see some traditional drumming of the Taiko drumming, I believe.
At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce to you the Yuko Daiko Taiko drumming team. Onegaishimasu.
These drums were originally used to define the boundaries of villages in ancient Japan by the various cadences of the beat. It has real martial art overtones. Each has its own belt system, and they're very popular in festivities and ceremonies in Japan.
Let's listen to them right now. take a timeout right now. We'll be back with the kata competition in the 1993 Uechi Ryū National Black Belt Championships in a moment. We're back at Clearwater High School. Brian Unk's back along with Dave Shapiro for the 1993 Uechi Ryū National Black Belt Karate Championships. We're going to see now the Kata Grand Championships. And Dave, why don't you tell us a little bit about what we're going to see right here?
What we're seeing is forms which are incredibly disciplined series of movements against an imaginary adversary. These various forms go back to ancient karate, the origins of which were Pangai Noon, a Chinese form, which was then brought to Japan. A few of the katas date to the original style. Right now we're seeing Joel Craven, who's from the Largo Dojo. Joel is going to practice the kata called Seisan. As you see the intensity in his eyes, his controlled breathing, his focus, his absolute discipline of motion. He's oblivious to everything around him except for the precision of what he's doing, demonstrating strength and absolute control. Each of these movements is designed to take an adversary in the various directions. He shifts, turns his head first, sees his opponent with his eyes, and then deals with the opponent.
And this takes years of practice to get to this level, does it not?
Absolutely. I've been doing it for 8 years, and I'm nowhere close. Each finger is held in a precise position, demonstrating tendon strength and focus. That was very well done.
Joel Craven of Largo, he finished first in his category,
which was first-degree black belt. And now he's competing against Tom DiFiore, who is the gentleman with the mustache, who is a second-degree black belt, actually works at the dojo, teaches the children's classes.
9-7, 9-7, 9-7.
That's a very respectable score. And Mike Nazar, who is a fourth-degree black belt, who operates a dojo in Texas.
So 9-7 straight across the board for Joel Craven.
Gives you an idea of the consistency of the judging. They're not conferring with one another when they write down their scores, and yet they agree to a decimal point.
And this is Mike Nazar from Texas.
Nazar, fourth-degree black belt.
You saw Mike earlier today in some sparring.
Yes, I did. Mike dealt with me. I'm proud to say, went into a tie, and it was finally called on a basis of time when he scored a 2-1. I'm kind of glad I hung in that long.
Mike with the fourth degree, and Dave Shapiro next to me with the second degree black belt, counting for himself very well in that match. Mike very crisp with his moves here in this kata.
Just captured his expression. We call that the eye of the tiger. It's intended to be an intimidating glance.
Mike Nazar from Texas. Fourth degree black belt. And his scores.
9-8, 9-8, 9-8, 9-8, 9-7.
It is absolutely incredible to me how 5 different people can sit without conferring and come up with almost exactly the same score.
And our final competitor, Tom DiFiore.
Tom is a second-degree black belt from the Largo Dojo. He's been practicing karate almost all his life. Tom is in charge of the youth program at our dojo and is held in great respect and affection by the kids there. Tom is doing a kata called Seirui. Tom is well known for his extremely crisp and rapid movement, demonstrates great power. He's also a very worthy adversary in sparring. Despite his rather slim build, he's a very tough adversary.
Tom DiFiore out of the Largo Dojo gets a good round of applause from our Capacity House here at Clearwater High School in Florida for the 1993 Uechi Ryū National Black Belt Championships. We are awaiting his scores.
9-7, 9-7, 9-8, 9-8, 9-8.
I might point out now, Brian, that there are going to be a difference perhaps to the second decimal point that will call the winner from the second or third place person here in this competition to show how very close they are.
And you are right, our preliminary scoring here would show that Mike Nazer has won it by 1/10 of a point.
That is intense and keen competition.
Over Tom DiFiore, with Joel Craven unofficially here finishing third. We'll have the official announcement coming up right now.
Might say a word about the referees and judges. Master Kiyohiro Shinjo is a 7th degree black belt. He is the senior officiating gentleman who is holding the trophy presently. His brother is the shorter gentleman next to him, Naruhiro Shinjo. He's 6th degree.
Champion of Kata Championships is Mike Nazer.
Mike Nazer, as we said, won it by 1/10 of a point. He is the grand champion. And then Master Shinjo presenting him with the trophy. We can see a replay right here of the end of his demonstration.
Mike did a very crisp and excellent job, showed great intensity. What a great honor for Mike.
Explain what they just did there, Dave.
That was the flag ceremony. It was conferred to Mike as the grand champion of kata. He will take possession of this flag, and it will be transferred next year to the next winner.
So that will go to his dojo in Texas for the year?
It will hang with great honor. Going on with the officials, Master Peter Kellogg, who's from Okinawa, lives there. He was born in Sarasota, Florida, as a 6th degree. The gentleman with the ponytail is Master Alan Dollar, 6th degree black belt, who operates a dojo in Los Angeles, near Los Angeles, California. Master Rick Martin is a 5th degree black belt who's hosting this tournament and owns the dojo in Largo. Rick Patricus from Palm Beach, who's a 5th degree. And Master James Foley, 5th degree from St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay, we're going to take a time out right now. We'll be back with more on the 1993 Uechi Ryū National Black Belt Championships here from Clearwater High School. Back at Clearwater High School for the 1993 Uechi Ryū National Black Belt Karate Championships. We've got the Masters demonstrations now, Dave Shapiro. We've got Master Naruhiro Shinjo.
Yes, Brian, this has got to be understood as the gold standard for kata when you see masters of this dimension performing. You can see, even relative to the gentleman who had won the kata demonstrations, the crispness and focus of this kata. He is performing seirui. Seirui is a kata that was developed as a training discipline, illustrating the form against an imaginary adversary, the focus addressing various directions, and dispatching with whoever is coming, and with tremendous focus and strength.
Mr. Shinjo from Okinawa.
He's actually doing seisan, although our program said seirui, that kata is called seisan.
And the Grand Masters traveling over to give the demonstration, as you said, to how you do it correctly and what all our competitors this evening are really focusing and shooting towards getting to that level someday.
That's what they aspire to. Seisan is a kata that was actually developed from the original Pangai Noon, which is the basis of our style, a ancient Chinese art.
And this is Master Peter Kellogg, who will be performing a different kata for us.
Yes. Peter is demonstrating Seisson. He's demonstrating Seirui. Seirui is a more recently developed kata. Peter is a 6th-degree black belt, lives in Okinawa, and trains on a daily basis with the masters.
Originally from this area, decided to move over there so he could get more involved with the roots of the origin of this discipline.
Yes, and he has blended with their culture and has married an Okinawan and has, I believe, 2 children. Seirui. Well done.
Mr. Peter Kellogg.
6th-degree black belt, Master Peter Kellogg. That's a big round of applause. Capacity House again here at Clearwater High School. This 1993 Uechi Ryū National Black Belt Karate Championships. It's Master Alan Dollar. A little unusual. Alan, also a bodybuilder, 6'4", about 225 pounds, combines both bodybuilding and Uechi Ryū.
Peter, Alan has an unusual background. He learned his karate in Okinawa when he was in the Marines. He also has experience as a Golden Gloves boxer as well as a bodybuilder. Operates a very successful dojo in California. His wife, Alice, is a 3rd-degree black belt, just as a matter of fact, recently passed her 3rd-degree test.
And Alan is a 6th-degree black belt.
Yes. Very disciplined, very strong, very traditional.
And this is one of the weapons forms of kata.
That bow, Brian, is actually an implement that was carried by farmers to carry loads across their shoulders. Of course, the farmers were not allowed to wear swords or weapons, only the samurai were. So they had to learn to defend themselves with implements around the farm and in the household.
So they had to make use of
what
whatever
was
they could
available
for their weapons, and that's how this art form came about. Now we have a double kata here from...
This is not a kata. This is going to be a breaking demonstration, Brian.
Okay.
This is a demonstration of something that's very part and parcel of our style and our discipline, body conditioning. In the movies, you see people block blows and kicks, which is really quite impossible unless your body surfaces have been developed. They are demonstrating a kumite, a bunkai, actually, which is a staged, controlled sparring exercise.
Again, this is Peter Kellogg and Narahiro Shinjo, who you just saw both of them in their katas.
That's an actual application of what you saw earlier in kata, done as a controlled exercise called a bunkai.
Both being from Okinawa, I'm sure they get a chance to practice this a lot together.
A great deal.
And you have to do it this well, correct?
Indeed. A misstep could be very painful. Now, this is the demonstration of the conditioning. That is a 2.
Right over the knee, and you can see that is a solid piece of wood right there.
That's a dramatic demonstration of the strength and focus and conditioning that it takes to practice Uechi Ryū karate.
We'll have a board-breaking demonstration with a toe kick from Sensei Ken Washington.
In our style, the toe is used as a kick, as a penetrating kick, not the ball of the foot as in many other styles. It is actually the tip of the great toe, and you can imagine the amount of development that it takes to be able to penetrate with just the tip of the great toe and break those boards. Yes. Brian, how would you like to have that land on your belly button?
A little strength right there in the toes, and as they would say, do not try this at home until you get to the level of a Sensei Ken Washington.
There he goes. Takes tremendous focus, and you can imagine the tendon strength in the great toe to be able to do that.
There's your close-up look right there, and just the speed also. Is that not what helps generate that, the speed and
Definitely.
From within the...
Definitely. And the focus, and that toe going to an opponent's abdomen or to his thigh would be crippling.
We'll have another demonstration here now. This will be a 2x4 forearm break from Sensei Charles Blackman.
Alan and Rick Patrikas are going to steady.
Blackbelt uses 4-arm strike to break a 2x4.
This takes tremendous conditioning. We developed this conditioning through an exercise called kotiki tai, and we also hit a implement called the makiwara, which is a piece of maple. And once again, it's to be able to develop the weapons of our body to be able to deliver the blows that we train so hard to develop.
There we go. Difficult, obviously, to do.
Let me say, Brian, when you deliver that blow and it doesn't break, if the arm was not tremendously conditioned, it would be extremely painful.
And we'll see it right here again on the replay.
Sometimes we say it's even more dramatic when it doesn't break with the first shot. It clearly demonstrates to everybody that that is a very solid piece of wood. And there it breaks.
This is Brian Ungst along with Dave Shapiro, a second-degree black belt in the Uechi Ryū discipline, and we're seeing some demonstrations right now between our kata championships, and we'll have our sparring coming up shortly. These are the Grand Masters. This will be a 2x4 shin break by Masters Rick Martin and Alan Dollar.
This will be a roundhouse kick called a mawashi gari. If it can break a 2x4, it could certainly break a leg.
Rick Martin is on the far side, Alan Dollar the near side.
Takes great concentration.
Board moving a little bit, and it's difficult to break when the board moves.
I heard a crack. Nope.
Came out the bottom there.
A mean piece of wood.
That just shows the...
Nope.
It's not going to work this time.
Hey.
Rick Martin on the far side got it through in the first kick, and that's, as you said, sometimes a piece of wood will not cooperate, and moving a little bit, and after a few attempts like that, you cannot keep trying because...
Rick Martin is now going to break that piece of wood with his shin. Imagine him delivering that kick to your leg. I think it would shatter with the same force.
Sun Chin, Masakihide, Shinjo, Rick Patrikas.
Now this kata is quite interesting, Brian. This is a kata that the white belts learn their first days in the dojo, and it continues to be learned throughout the entire lifetime of training. It's called Sanchin. Sanchin demonstrates intense focus. It's an intensely isometric exercise. The control of breathing, the control of muscle is then tested by the sensei as the senpai practices the kata. You will see him strike various surfaces of his body which show the intensity of his muscle control and his breathing control. Anybody who wasn't terribly trained could not withstand these blows. The sounds you hear are flesh against flesh, bone against bone. Nothing is being held back.
Yohide Shinjo.
That blow would be punishing.
Again, Master Shinjo, the 7th degree. Rick holding the 5th degree black belt.
Those thigh kicks would drop an ordinary person. And the purpose of those blows is to demonstrate his absolute and complete control of his body, his absolute focus. His mind is on nothing other than performing the kata with perfection. His stance is perfect. He's locked to the floor. He can't lose his balance. You can see the welts on his body from where he's being punched. Those are not being pulled. Those punches are full force. As we practice this kata, the stance is awfully important. It's kind of a torquing and locking of the legs, and strength comes from the floor all the ways up to the body and meets in the center from the upper body. Now he's punching him in the high abdomen and on the chest, on the pecs. This is an ancient kata, dates back to Pangainun. Those are called Diote strikes. I think even on the monitor you can see the redness of Rick's skin showing where he's been hit. That would drop an ordinary man.
Rick Patricus showing his absolute conditioning there in that kata. An awesome display of conditioning and also just discipline, taking those blows and standing tall.
I think that's the heart of our style that's embodied in that particular kata.
Next, kata from Kata Uechi Ryū by Master Kenhiro.
Take a look there and watch some of these right here, these punches to the...
Right to his lats. I think you can see the redness of his skin, and look how the skin just indents for the intensity of that punch. This master, look at that. This guy does not do anything soft. When he hits, he's hitting hard.
Master Rick Martin now will come out and demonstrate yet another kata.
I'll tell you what this is as I see him begin. He's doing the kata kanshin. The wrist blocks. That particular movement is to block a kick and throw an adversary.
Master Martin, a 5th degree black belt, veteran of 7 world championships. Dojo master here in Largo, a local favorite and a well-known worldwide. We'll take another time out right now. Be back with more from the 1993 Uechi Ryū National Black Belt Karate Championships here at Clearwater High School. Back at Clearwater High School for the 1993 Uechi Ryū National Black Belt Karate Championships. Brian looks back along with Dave Shapiro. We're having some sparring rules demonstrations right now. Dave, why don't you tell us a little bit about this?
Well, we're seeing that leg sweeps are allowed, takedowns and kicks, punching to the entire torso, front and back, focus punching and kicking to the head, but not making contact. What's not allowed is stepping out of the ring is a warning, and if it happens 3 times, the opponent receives 1 point. There is not to be any contact, kicking to the knees or to the groin, no kicking or punches that actually land on the neck or the head. The scoring is a punch or kick to the body is 1 point, a focus kick to the head is 1 point, focusing meaning not making contact. A focus punch to a downed opponent is 1 point. A focus punch to the head is a half a point, or wazari, if it's in combination with a controlled grab and a punch to the head, it's a full point.
First, we're going to see our executive division finals. And the masters will come in, again, followed by the 4 finalists. We'll have Mike Nazar taking on Jay Risch, and then Bill Rutledge will take on George Schriefer. And based on what you have seen so far, Dave, who might you think could come out of this?
Well, I'd like to see Mike win, actually. I'm a little selfish about that. He beat me in the first round.
And in a 2-1, there was a time limit. And
it went on time. We were tied 1-1 up to the last 30 seconds. I felt good about that. It'll certainly be a vindication if he wins this, but, you know, I got to have some humility here as well. The other combatants are awfully good. I might explain that executive defines 40 and over, age 40 and over. I might add, Brian, I think I'm the oldest sparring karateka in the United States here in this style, well over 40.
So you accounted for yourself very well today and lived to tell us about it this evening.
Thankfully. Rick said I better live to be here tonight.
Of course, we talked about Mike Nazar, who won the kata demonstration, 4th degree black belt, and you're the 2nd degree black belt, and he is a few years younger than you, so...
Hey, great flexibility. He just demonstrated some tremendous flexibility. He's very good. Jay is a very, very dedicated karateka in our dojo. Jay works with computers, and he's just a very serious fellow. Has a lovely family and spends a great deal of time training very hard at the dojo.
Master Uechi Shinjo is your referee for this bout.
And our ring is judged by Peter Kellogg, Naruhiro Shinjo, Alan Dollar, and Rick Patrikas.
And Mike Nazar is wearing the red around the black belt.
The flags match the combatants. Ipang is a point for Mike Nazar. He is wearing the red sash. He is Aka. And the other combatant, Jay Rich, is not wearing the red sash and accordingly is called Shiro.
So Mike Nazar leads it 1-0. Now it's a 3-point or 2-minute round. Is that correct?
2-minute round. It's a 2-minute time limit, 3 points. That was a mid-range kick, a mawashigari, to the mid-portion of the body. Shudan, Ipang. So it's 1-1. Oh, Mike Lynn did a good kick. Two to one.
2-1, Mike Nazar, and one more point will win it for him.
Torimasen means not enough technique, not enough focus or power on the punch. Not every contact is scored. It has to be with intensity. It has to be with power. Remember, once again, Brian, no chest protectors. Those punches are landing and they hurt. Mike Nazar.
Mike Nazar is the winner. He will advance to the finals of the executive division. He has 3-1 winner over Jay Rish.
Now, Brian, just take a look at this beautifully focused punch. It's a mid-range punch, Shodansuki. He comes right, perfect punch, right over his hand, strikes, pulls back, focusing on that punch.
So he gave a little bit of a height advantage away in the last match, Dave, but it didn't hurt him in this match against Mike Nazar. Both about the same as far as their physical height and weight. Should be a good final.
Yeah. Mike doesn't do much kicking. He's got fast hands.
A 2-minute round for the first person to 3. Will win it before the 2 minutes.
That was just basically moving him out of the ring. No point is scored. But he gets a warning for moving out of the ring. You recall that 3 of those would be a point for George.
Mike Nazar with the black hair and the mustache and the red belt around against George Schriefer. Again, no point awarded, still a scoreless match.
There was a contact. That was an excellent kick.
There's the first point.
Excellent kick.
Nazer now leads it 1-0.
George tried to trap it again, but Mike is agile enough to come back and regain his balance and composure.
Again, if the kick or the punch is not done in the correct manner, no point will be awarded, correct?
That's correct.
A problem with a contact lens or something in the eye of George Schriefer.
I think he doesn't wear contacts, but he might have just been brushed in the eye and has a little irritation. What Mike is doing is quite traditional, just kneeling and facing the opposite direction when the adversary is in any way impaired. Now they're resuming. No points scored.
Still 1-0, Mike Nazer in the finals of the executive division of the sparring.
That was an attempt at a sweep. A low kind of sickle kick to try to sweep the lower leg and bring the opponent off balance. Mike's got quick hands. George retreated just in time.
You can sweep the leg, but you cannot go to the knee area.
That's correct. The sweep has got to be about ankle high to be effective, bringing the man off. George scores another point.
So it's now tied at 1. It's 1-1 now. George Schriefer against Mike Nazer.
This is a real close bout.
There was a good move there. And a 2-1 lead now for George Schriefer.
Mike's got to get it together, or George is going to take this bout. Ipang.
2-2 now.
That was a focused punch to the head. Next point wins. That's it. That's how fast it happens.
Mike Nazer aggressively going after George Schriefer. Schriefer had the 2-1 lead, and he scores the last 2 points to win this championship by the score of 3-2 over George Schriefer. So Mike Nazer, the 4th degree black belt from Texas.
Here comes the last point. You'll see that Mike seized the advantage by becoming very quickly aggressive right off the line as soon as they faced each other, and attacked and scored his point. Very fast.
So Nazer wins the kata, and he wins the executive division in sparring.
Indeed.
It's been a good day for him.
And here's Mike.
Getting the trophy from the referee, Master Shinjo, and he is the winner of our executive division.
We're going to take a break. Let's take a break. And call a break.
We'll take a timeout. We'll be back with more from Clearwater High School, the 1993 Uechi Ryū National Black Belt Karate Championships. No rest for the weary. He's back on his feet and ready to go against Ray Soltis.
Well, Tom's in excellent condition. He's a young man and trains hard and diligently on a daily basis.
Ray Soltis, who won 2-1 over Joel Craven. Both men feeling each other out a little bit here in this final match.
Taking the measure of their opponent very cautiously.
2-minute round.
Thomas,
first to 3 will win it.
Tom is called a counter fighter, Brian. He waits for the opponent many times to make the initial move, and then, as you see, times his counterpunch. When it lands well.
It's got to be really difficult in the heat of the battle like that to throw crisp, clean punches and kicks without landing them to the areas you're not supposed to. You have to have tremendous discipline.
Indeed.
Of coordination, conditioning, all comes into play at this level.
We really consider it very bad form to land a head blow. And it's something that is sometimes hard to control in the heat of the battle. But as you've seen several bouts, nobody has come away with a bloodied nose or a cut to the face. And those gloves aren't very, very big. They're not even as big as boxing gloves.
Still no score in this final. There's a warning against the red, which is Tom DiFiore, as you saw on your scoreboard there. And some counter moves, but nothing again landing crisply or cleanly enough to be awarded a point.
You can see the Tom's.
And there's a good counter punch with the left foot by, or kick by Tom DiFiore with the left foot to score the point.
Good kick.
He leads at 1-0. You mentioned he was a counter fighter, and he demonstrated it right there.
Yep. Tom makes up with the speed for his size.
He leads at 2-0 now.
Wonderfully sharp counter punch.
So far, he has not been scored upon in this final competition, the semifinals or the finals here.
That's correct. Oh, now that strike to the head was a beautiful example of a controlled punch.
Ray Soltis getting himself back together, getting his gi adjusted, so he's ready to resume the combat here in the finals of the lightweight division. Soltis there with a good counter move. Will he score a point? I believe he will be awarded a point. Yes, he will, and that was the first point given up by Tom DiFiore in the final competitions. He leads it 2-1.
Tom is striking controlled punches towards the head, but they're not being recognized as a wasabi. He was awarded a point for a second warning for that punch to the head.
So it's tied at 2. The next point wins it. The championship in the lightweight division on the line right here, right now. Time, and we're tied at 2. What happens now?
We'll go into overtime.
The sudden death variety of overtime?
It'll be a 30-second overtime, I believe, and from there another 30-second overtime. In essence, that's how it ends.
So Soltis just staying alive, scoring that second point with less than 10 seconds remaining in the 2-minute round to force this into a sudden death overtime against Tom DiFiore. DiFiore with the right hand will win it in overtime. Again, the local favorite, turning aggressor there. We talked about him being a counter fighter, but he went after it there aggressively and comes away with the big victory. So Tom DiFiore is your champion in the lightweight division, a 3-2 victor over Ray Soltis in overtime. And we'll look at the second point coming up here on our replay.
There's Tom taking the measure of his man, counters, sharp blow to the flank. Makes the point, and the winning point where Tom departs from his characteristic of being a counter fighter, being very aggressive there, coming over the hand and landing a sharp blow up to the high chest.
First place, Tom DiFiore.
Tom DiFiore winning it in overtime, 3-2, our first place winner. Mr. Shinjo presenting him with the first place trophy. And he wins. Tom DiFiore, the lightweight championship. Getting ready for a middleweight competition. But before we go to the middleweight competition, we're going to go over to Brian Collar, who's standing by with Master Alan Dollar.
A lot of great competition, especially that last match.
Yes, indeed. Very fast to the lightweights. Very fast. High level of competition here today.
Now, I understand that you and Rick Martin have been organizing this for the last couple of years.
This is our third year in a row, not only tournament competition, but a week-long training leading up to it.
Must take a lot to prepare something like this.
And more than you would imagine, an incredible amount of work, but the results are worth it.
There's no doubt about it. Now, the Okinawan training, what does this reflect on the children? Is this something they're going to be interested in as well?
I think the standard that is set by the Okinawans when they're here, both in competition and in training, influences all and inspires us all to a higher level, the children and adults alike. And I think it gives a good role model for the children to see in the Okinawans' stick-withedness and not finishing until something's done and being very humble about that accomplishment.
Great. Thank you, Alan.
Certainly.
And again, no rest for the weary. He's on his feet and ready to resume here in the final now against Steve Babbitt. Both from the Largo Dojo.
Both from Largo Dojo, both having trained 3, sometimes 4 nights a week for the past 10 years.
Master Rick Martin in the corner. One of our judges has to be proud that both of his fighters advanced to the finals.
Both these men are very flexible, both capable of delivering kicks with great speed.
Counter by Granada. Let's see whether that is... 2 judges have it as a point.
I'm noting that our visiting dojo masters are looking on with admiration at this sparring exhibition.
That's the second point. It's now 2-0 for Granada. 1 point away for the championship here in the middleweight division.
Oh. That was a low kick that dropped Stephen. He's back again.
What does it mean when the judge holds the red flag, the flag up and waves it? Is that
it means it was a foul. A warning for a foul.
Foul. So we had from 3 of our judges, and the warning goes out. Counter punch to the midsection. 2 judges have it as a point, and Jack Granada has won it 3-0 over dojo mate Steve Babbitt, and he is the winner here in the middleweight division. Very impressive performance by Jack Granada here in the finals.
Jack has a real hard punch. I'm an expert on that. I've sparred Jack, and he has a definite hard punch.
James Foley.
Take a look at it right here, the winning punch.
Block, boom. The punch to the midsection.
Again, underneath that lazy left hand, and he made him pay for it for the win. This is the point before the second point.
And there's Jack. His legs being controlled. He has balance. He doesn't drop. Well, we have 2 men from the Largo Dojo coming away with championships in the lightweight, Tom DiFiore, and the middleweight, Jack Granada.
We are, of course, joined by James Foley, 5th degree black belt. You just came in from St. Louis from the competition, I understand.
Yes, sir. I've been here all week since Wednesday morning.
I said you brought in 5 of your students. Has the competition been what you've expected it to be?
Yeah, it's been very good. The only difference between this and the Okinawan rules is in Okinawa, the contact rules are a little different because they don't have the insurance and liability issues that we have in the United States.
A little bit more controlled here.
Absolutely.
I think that's great for the kids getting involved as well, I would think.
Oh, absolutely. It's great for the kids. It builds their self-esteem, makes them physically stronger and spiritually stronger in the sense of, strong spirit to proceed with other challenges in their life.
I wanted to ask you about that. Physiologically, what does it take for somebody to be a competitor at this stage?
It takes a lot of hard training. Most of these competitors today are guys that have put in maybe 8 to 10 hours a week training, and some of them maybe even more than that.
That's great. Thanks for joining us, James.
Now we'll have the heavyweights. The heavyweight finals. We'll have 2 semifinals. Our first match will see James Human against Greg Weber. And then the final match will be, the semifinals will be Tony Schultz against Tom Rangel.
James is the grand champion from last year's competition, the year before that as well. He's very accomplished, has come back not having trained for many, many months, having completed his senior year at FSU Law School and having just graduated from law school. So he's been hitting the books, James has, pretty hard, not training that much, but you'll see him make an excellent accounting for himself this evening.
And you said that he has been accepted on one of the major local law firms here. He'll start work there soon.
Yes, he will. He's started work this summer as an associate. He clerked for 2 summers and has been hired by one of the larger law firms in our area. We're very proud of James.
See, Greg Weber from Texas will be James Human's opponent here in the semifinals. James with the red belt around the waist.
James is a 3rd degree, and Greg is a 4th degree. James has an amazing roundhouse kick, a great side kick as well. Tremendous flexibility, tremendous strength. He's been training for many years. He's been with Rick for a long time.
Saw Greg almost slipping to the floor there, but regaining his balance.
Driven out of the ring at first ring warning. We recall that 3 of those will be a point.
Ring warning goes to Greg Weber. Good left-footed kick right there to the midsection.
It's an example of that kick.
James Human leads it 1-0. That was quick and it was concise, right to the area they wanted it for the point.
James has got tremendous spring, tremendous ability to rebound. And Greg is excellent as well. Good counterfighter. He scored that time.
See, both of these young men have strong hands. They're grabbing and blocking, and the kicks come in there not without authority. They grab it and move the leg out of the way.
You see how the gloves are designed to enable a grab. The fingers are open. Actually, it's a little bit dangerous because a jammed finger is a real possibility.
2-1 now for James Human over Greg Weber. That nice counter punch there. He leads it 2-1. One more point, and he'll advance to the final here in the heavyweight division.
These are the same gloves that are worn in Okinawa. Oh, there it was.
There it is, underneath that left hand with the right hand for the 3-1 victory for James Human. He'll advance to our heavyweight finals here at the 1993 Uechi Ryū National Black Belt Karate Championships.
1, 2, 3. Not very much time taken to dispatch his opponent.
Our next semifinal match will be Tony Schultz in the red corner against Tom Rangel, and we'll see some replays here of that victory by James Human. This is the second point.
Boom. I think Greg's going to feel that tomorrow morning. Now we're into the next match. Tony Schultz against Tom Rangel.
Tom Rangel with the kick scores the first point. Tom Rangel with the black mustache. We're right at your screen right now.
Remember that Tom accounted for himself very well in the bow kata, the weapons kata. Now, Master Shinjo waited before he called Yame, meaning that he wasn't necessarily calling that a slip, but perhaps a takedown. And he waited until Tony came up and delivered a punch to the downed opponent, a controlled punch, not making contact. He may be considering making that a point rather than just a misstep.
Talking to Masters Rick Martin and Narahiro Shinju. We'll see what his decision is.
Yes.
He's ruled to the point. We are tied at 1 here in our second semifinal in the heavyweight division between Schultz and Rangel.
Beautiful trap takedown. Beautiful. score that.
And again, we're going to have a discussion whether that should have been a point or a warning.
Whether it's a point or not, I think it demonstrates a great technique. It's something that we all try to do when we spar. It takes a lot of precision.
Explain it to us, Dave, what you're talking about here on this replay.
Just watch how this kick comes in. He traps it in his arms, takes his opponent down with his other leg, and then comes up and delivers a counter punch to his downed opponent. It is the absolute essence of what we try to accomplish in sparring. But the point goes to Shiro. He scored that kick.
I think he believed maybe been the counter punch over the top. I don't know if we'll see that again later on. We'll see what happens. It's 2-1 now. Or they scored a 1.5 now. 1.5 to 1.
You ever try to spar with one leg being held and bouncing on the other?
So 1.5 to 1 as Rangel gets the half point. He leads it.
Whoa.
We have 2 judges with white and 2 with red.
It depends on who saw what. They both scored points, and therefore it's a clash. No point.
So
it's kind of like a tie. Each one scored a point.
2 effective blows, but simultaneously, so no point awarded to either side.
Tom has a nice side kick. Attempted a sweep. Trap. They're really sparring with tremendous intensity.
Really good technique there, too, to avoid some of those sweeps that you saw and then the traps and still to get away and survive without having a point scored against you just shows the abilities of both of these fighters.
Indeed, and their conditioning, too. The shin hits hurt. Oh,
good straight.
Saw that land. Clean blow.
Tony Schultz now leads it 2 to 1.5.
Oops, he landed that. 2.5.
Point goes to Rangel. He leads it 2.5 to 2 now.
At full point will win.
And that could do it right there. Let's see how it's scored.
Yeah.
Nope.
I knew Shinjo wouldn't call that little tap a point. It made contact, but not enough for Master Shinjo.
Not authoritative enough or crisp enough that we've talked about earlier.
Ooh.
Good counter move with the right hand.
Wonderful.
And that'll win it.
I wonder.
Yeah. Now we're going to talk about it again, or are we? Yes, we are. Maybe not. We'll see. Rick Martin going up now to talk to Master Shinjo.
Oh. Though you heard the sound, it wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough. It remains 2.5 to 2. Rangel over Schultz.
Oop. Oh. You saw that headshot. You saw Tony's head rock back with the intensity of the punch. Not on purpose, not meant. But with the ferocity of that clash, a punch went to the head.
Again, we're going to discuss things. Rick Martin thought he saw a point, and I believe he was the only one that awarded a point to Tony Schultz on that particular exchange.
I think I saw that kick, too. It came right before the punch to the head. Yep.
There it is, and Tony Schultz wins it 3 to 2.5 to advance to the finals with that point awarded, we believe, on the kick. And he'll face James Human now for the heavyweight championship here at the 1993 Uechi Ryū National Black Belt Karate Championships at Clearwater High School.
Upon conference awarded to Tony, there's the kick.
There it is right there, and it was clean.
Yeah, it was a clean shot right to his flank.
Just before the left hand came in from Rangel, but he scored it with the foot first. We're going to take a timeout and be back with our final match in a moment. Brian Ungston, Dave Shapiro, back with you at Clearwater High School for the 1993 Uechi Ryū National Black Belt Karate Championships. We're going to have the finals of the heavyweight sparring division. James Human right there on your screen against Tony Schultz. Human defeated Greg Weber 3-1 in the semis to move to the finals, and Schultz in a tight match defeated Tom Rangel 3-2.5 to advance to this final.
Brian, once again, we have both James and Tony from the Largo Dojo fighting each other.
That was counter move there by James.
Very nice
to score the first point.
A trap, takedown, and a well-controlled counter to the downed opponent. If he were just taken down, it would be half a point, but being taken down and a clean punch to follow is a full point.
See Tony with a little bit different parallel on the hands and the gloves than what James Human has.
Yes, those are the gloves I wear. I find them a little bit more protective of my knuckles and my hand, my fingers. Oh, that was excellent. That was just an excellent trap.
Tremendous counter move on the trap.
That was a trap. He drew him in, took him off balance, dropped him, and had a controlled punch. It was just beautiful technique.
2-0 now, Human over Schultz in this heavyweight championship.
Something happened.
Turned an ankle.
Yep, he slipped.
He is in pain, or maybe wrenched the knee on the slip.
Yep, he slipped, hurt his knee. That was not a contact issue. That was nothing that had to do with a strike from James. That was just a slip.
If he cannot continue, then James Human would win it.
That's correct. Now, you're watching a little authentic Mr. Miyagi here, Brian. Remember in the movie The Karate Kid, he rubbed his hands together, and now he's going to apply a little bit of massage and see whether or not he can let that go on.
See right there, just the way he landed awkwardly.
Yep, there he goes. His knee buckles, and down he goes.
A little bit off balance, and it cost him there a little bit as he was being aggressive, but Mr. Shinjo applying the massage to the knee area.
He can't continue,
Tony Schultz. He scored the point on that. And James Human wins it 3-0 as the point was scored after that fall, and they award it to him.
Glad to see Tony's moving okay on that leg, so it's not a serious knee injury.
James Human is your heavyweight champion with a 3-0 victory over Tony Schultz.
You know, it's kind of frustrating to those of us who train every day to have James come in from law school and sweep that championship.
Okay, we're going to take another timeout right now. I'll be back with more from the 1993 Uechi Ryū National Black Belt Karate Championships in a moment. Brian Ungston, Dave Shapiro back with you for the 1993 Uechi Ryū National Black Belt Karate Championship, and Master Shinjo will be performing a kata here.
This is Kata Sansei Rui. It's the 8th kata of the katas that we perform, the most advanced, the most difficult to perform. It is also a kata that dates back to the original Pangai Noon style, or Chinese style of karate that was brought from China to ultimately Okinawa by Kanbun Uechi, and then by his son Kane Uechi, and then to Master Shinjo's father,
Mr. Kiyohide Shinjo,
chairman of the All Okinawan Karate Association, embodying all the various styles of karate in Okinawa. A tremendous honor bestowed to this man, as well as to our style, to achieve that sort of prominence in Okinawa.
7th degree black belt.
Beautifully done. That is the gold standard, Brian. That's what we all try to achieve.
Crowd here appreciating the art form and the discipline and years that it goes in to get to this level.
And the ones out there is Peter Catalog.
Have another demonstration here.
Alan Dollar, James Foley.
Master Shinjo, Master Kellogg, Master Martin, Dollar, and Foley will all be involved in this one.
And this is a demonstration of the actual applications of this kata. Rick has demonstrated the move in the kata, and then you see the application in what we call a bankai, a controlled sparring. Rick does the next move, and you see what it's intended to do. Now the next one. A circle block and a kick. A circle block and a shoken, or one knuckle punch. Circle block kick, circle block, and a one knuckle punch.
So again, the practical demonstration of how the kata works with an opponent.
You see that trapping of a kick and the shoken punch to the back. And then there's a series of 3 shokens that Rick is demonstrating. And then an elbow strike, or a hijitsi. There's the elbow strike. And another. Punishing blows. It seems abstract when they perform the katas, and it's terrific to see the actual application of these ancient self-defense measures. A boshiken to the neck. Another. This is a lethal blow. It's called a crane strike. The fingers extended, the hand in a cup form just over the clavicle into the soft structures of nerves and blood vessels.
Hypothetically, David, what would happen if these masters got together and sparred? I'm sure you'd see quite a demonstration of skill and explosiveness.
I think you would hear the clanging of their bodies as if striking pieces of metal.
Done by Master James Foley.
They condition themselves and their fingers even to deliver the spear hand strikes called a nukate by plunging their fingers into bowls of increasingly coarse grains, from actually coarse grains to very fine grains to sand, to toughen their fingers and make for a dense structure.
With the elbow, Master James Foley.
Not anymore, they're on 3 left. Imagine that striking your ribs.
Next, we'll have a forearm break of a 2x4 by Master Rick Patricus. So we'll take a look at it
Next will be
again.
Picture your rib cage.
doing a bokai.
Whoops. A trip to the emergency room. And here's Mr. Sensei, Master Naruhiro Shinjo, performing the bow kata. Remember, we discussed before that the bow is a farming implement carried across the shoulders to carry heavy loads. We've all seen pictures of Oriental peasants carrying loads and pails of water in this fashion. The original Okinawans were not allowed to carry weapons. This was reserved solely for the samurai who carried swords and the royalty. So to defend themselves, they made use of implements around their homes and their farms. The baton that you see policemen carry is actually a mill handle called a tonfa that became a weapon of great efficiency. See the precision. See the intensity of his stare. Battling imaginary opponents from various angles, coming at various directions, dispatching them in turn.
Sixth-degree black belt, Master Naruhiro Shinjo with the kata. This is Master Rick Martin.
And these demonstrations may seem silly to some, but it's a demonstration of the kind of training we do day in and day out, pounding the makiwara, the maple staff. Also practicing a exercise called kotiki tai, which one delivers blows to the partner and receives blows. in order to toughen the body surfaces to be able to take a blow in a fight without giving ground. Rick is in a standard, it's called, it's the last portion of the Sanshin stance, called the closed gate position. Here's the forearm break. Rick holds his arm out.
This is the forearm break.
4 foot long piece of wood, 2 by 2 over his forearm.
Cleanly right down the middle, showing a tremendous strength.
And the abdominal break.
Stomach break.
I'm proud to say that I did this 2 weeks ago at the lower rank demonstration at St. Paul's School. We had a first part of this competition there, where all the ranks put up.
Again, broken cleanly. And we'll have one more, I believe,
Now,
over the leg.
There's the shin.
This will be across the shin.
There goes a tremendous demonstration of strength and conditioning by Master Rick Martin of the Largo Dojo. Take a look at some of the replays.
Here we go with the forearm. And this isn't just mindless sort of stuff. If one were to block a kick with the body surface, all these surfaces would have to be toughened, and that's what we do.
So he did not even blink there as that board came across his stomach.
Not a bit. And that's how you block a kick and not get hurt yourself.
And didn't blink there across the shin either.
Next, we're going to have Sensei Alan Dollar come up.
Sensei Alan Dollar will break
And he's
8
going to break
stacked
8 boards.
boards.
No spaces.
Static board breaking.
Sometimes, Brian, you see demonstrations where they place concrete-looking forms and karate practitioners will break them with their fists. Once I saw a demonstration like that, it was kind of glued together. One of the top concrete blocks toppled and broke on the gymnasium floor where the demonstration was being held.
Wow.
But this is real stuff. That's real wood, and we don't bake it or try to make it brittle.
The standard stuff you get at your hardware or lumber store, I guess.
Yes, it is.
Sensei Alan Dollar.
That's a major stack of wood.
6-degree black belt.
Here's how you make toothpicks.
Out of California.
Gathering his intensity, his focus.
Given them. I don't know if any of them broke or not. There's one. So we'll move that one and give it one more shot.
This is not with the knuckle. This is with the side of the hand. The knife hand strike. That's the wrist.
All but one.
Some people use saws.
Scrambling out to get the pieces of wood and the souvenirs from this competition.
It reminds me sometimes of the tennis matches where they scramble out to get the balls for the contestants.
Now we'll see board breaking with the spear hand, fingertip stroke.
To do the spear hand, better known
This
as
takes
finger strike.
tremendous development. The Okinawans do this by plunging their hands into jars with diminishing sizes of beans and then finally to sand, which is the most dense and difficult to penetrate.
Master Kiyohide Shinjo, again the 7th degree black belt.
With the strength of their fingers that they develop in this fashion, they can deliver crippling blows to the ribs or to the soft parts of the abdomen. He's going to do it with the back of his wrist. And then with his fingers. My gosh. That's the application. Both Ellen and Peter are praying that he has good aim.
go. Got some tough work here this evening.
Thank you.
The demonstration. The fingertip strike. Now we'll have a very popular one, the baseball bat break with the roundhouse kick by Master Rick Martin.
I might say that I believe that Rick is the only American who is able to do this particular break.
Next, we're
He
going
saw
to
this
have
break
the
in
baseball
Okinawa,
bat.
was challenged by it, and
It will
was
be broken
determined
with a roundhouse
to
kick
master it here, and he's done it
by
on several
Master Rick
occasions.
Martin.
This bat is not braced to the floor by any form. It's held in the hand, and there's a definite amount of give as the blow hits. No matter how hard Master Shinjo tries to lock his wrists, there's some give. So just imagine the force of the kick necessary to break the bat and the absolute focus at the moment of impact.
You can look at a major league hitter swinging the bat as hard as they do on a fastball coming in at 90 miles an hour. A lot of times will not even break it.
Indeed. It broke.
You hear it crack. There it is, Mr. Rick Martin. Tremendous blow. Now we'll see another baseball bat demonstration. This one by Master Narahiro Shinjo, who will break the bat with his forearm strike.
Next, we're going to have another baseball bat broken by Master Nakahiro Shinjo. This will be done with the forearm strike.
To show that that is a real baseball
Show
bat.
exactly that it's a real baseball bat. It's not pre-broken. It's not a piece of balsa wood. That's the real McCoy. The thing you'd see Clearwater High School's Howard Johnson using for the New York Mets.
There's the application of that blow. The forearm strike. Sometimes we call it the clothesline strike. Oh. His arms gave a moment of impact. Hard to hold that steady. No. I think there's been a spy supplying us with wooden bats tonight.
Doesn't seem like it's going to be this evening. Master Shinjo trying to hold it steady for the other Master Shinjo.
He's trying to get that point of impact just exact. Otherwise, it pushes through. No.
Trying out for the fourth time. It's going to take a toll on that forearm.
Indeed. It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen this evening.
He would probably keep on trying, but his older brother said, stop. He's going to try out the other forearm now. No? Oh, no.
You want to break it over the leg?
No. No. I've never seen this before. I don't think any of us have.
There it is.
Good Lord.
Nakahiro Shinjo having the bat broken over the leg.
I guess he made up for it, Brian, didn't he?
You could hear the groan from the crowd when they decided they were going to do that.
Whiz, talk about not losing face in
And
the Orient.
groan from my color commentator here, Dave Shapiro. You got to try that next time, Dave?
Oh, my God.
And these bats will be broken
Whoa.
with a roundhouse
Talk
kick.
about a thigh conditioning.
now comes the coup de grace here. Master Kirihiro Shinjo will break 3 baseball bats with a roundhouse kick.
Now, the important element of this break is that be absolutely immobile, and that's what Rick and Alan and Peter are going to try to do, so that there's no backward motion, so that the full intensity and force of his kick meets the bat accurately and is not pushed back. That will allow for the break. Ladies and gentlemen, don't try this at home.
Not unless you've got a good insurance policy anyway.
We're looking at the best of the best.
They broke that even cleanly one more time.
Here in history.
7th degree black belt Kirihiro Shinjo breaking the 3 baseball bats with the sweep kick. Getting a big round of applause from our fans here this evening. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back with the final sparring grand championships here at the 1993 Uechi Ryū National Black Belt Karate Championships.
Before we begin our sparring grand championship and the culmination of the 1993 National Uechi Ryū Black Belt Championship, Master Narahito Shinjo will sing the national song to enter tournament sparring grand championships.
Okay. 三千と日の光妙群上の海の色さやけき島の闘魂が正義が生みし無手の剣心きた海をきたう沖縄の空手道哀れ襲う敵あらば守礼の国に真偽あり鉄の拳は完全と肉を切らせて骨を打つ心守る身を守る沖縄の空手道ありがとう。ありがとうございます。
Brian Ungston, Dave Shapiro back with you for the 1993 Uechi Ryū National Black Belt Karate Championships, and we're here for the grand finale now of the evening. This is the Sparring Grand Championship. Winners advancing to the Grand Championship. The Executive Division winner, Mike Nazer, will take on the heavyweight winner, James Human. And then in the other semifinal, the lightweight winner, Tom DeFiore, will take on the middleweight winner, Jack Granada. Dave, this is what the whole weekend was all about, coming here for the grand finale and the grand sparring championship here.
This is the peak. This is the peak. I think that most people would focus on the sparring as a expression of what karate is. Really, in reality, it's not. Kata is a very strong part of karate. Kumite, learning self-defense maneuvers. Kata is a modern expression of karate, more or less kickboxing in many of its aspects. There's Tom taking the lead with a very strong, aggressive attack. The mid-range punch. Once again, Tom DiFiore and Mike Nazar. Tom is working very hard, very fast, taking the aggressive position. He is pumped.
Tom DiFiore leading it 2-0 over Mike Nazar in his first of 2 semifinals.
Mike has his job cut out for him. I think you all saw that kick that he checked to the head. Mike is a executive division champion, and he's sparring a much younger man, doing an excellent job. Mike is a 4th degree black belt and operates a dojo in Texas. Tom is a 2nd degree black belt.
Tom DiFiore advances to the finals with a 3-1 victory over Mike Nazar.
Well fought. Excellent.
Got a little bit of an upset there, Dave, you think? Or?
Well, not really. Tom has a great style. He has tremendous ability, fast hands, and he's a lot younger.
This is Jack Granata against James Human. James Human, very impressive. In the heavyweight division.
Both these men have great flexibility, excellent ability to deliver a very rapid kick. They have a lot of respect for each other's abilities.
Granata in the red corner with the red belt around the waist.
You'll hear him refer, Brian, to as Aka, and James, not wearing the sash, is Shiro, or white. It's a point for Jack.
Granata leads it 1-0. A lot of contact there, and that will be a point for James Human. So well, it'll be now 1-1 as Human ties Jack Granata for the right to move to the championship against Tom DiFiore. Another point for James Human. He now leads it 2-1. One more point, and he'll advance to the finals.
Jack's got to make his move. He's got to make it quickly. As you can tell, these men have been training for years together. They have great respect for each other, great affection for each other. This is a match to demonstrate skill. There are no hostilities here. A lot of respect. And it's showing respect to your adversary to give it your all.
And that'll do it for James Human.
That was it.
Scoring on the punch to the torso and the right side underneath the left arm to take the 3-1 victory. So both James Human and Mike Nazar, or Tom DiFiore, make it with the 3-1 victories to advance to the final in the Sparring Grand Championship.
There's great balance that was demonstrated there. His leg was trapped, and yet he was still able to deliver that punch. Now here's Tom. Tom is going to be fighting James. A lightweight against a heavyweight.
James Human, the heavyweight, Tom DiFiore, the lightweight, both 3-1 victors to advance to this Sparring Grand Championship.
Got to hand it to James. He's been hitting the law books all year. Not training on a daily basis.
No point awarded there.
Tom's hope is to be able to counterfight.
Again, no point as both combatants scored simultaneously.
There's kick blocked. Tom has a tendency to hit high, and that one got through. He was unable to control it. Once again, this is nothing that's done on purpose. It's a strike to the head. It's a foul, and that's why the circular motion with the flags. Everybody understands this is not done in malice. Here we see that strike. Tom trying to deliver a high strike. It just went high. It caught James in the jaw. That's a foul. In real life, it would be effective, as you can tell, but for the purposes of the tournament, it's not allowed.
Just missing that sweet spot on the chin, which is the lights out area in the head.
Indeed.
Caught the side of that chin anyway. Fortunately, he had his head turned a little bit, didn't catch it right on the front.
He's okay. And Brian, remember, these gloves are a lot lighter than boxing gloves. A lot of the force comes through. And these men practicing karate have developed knuckles. Their hands are very hard. Major foul. But we understand, not malice.
Still no score in this final between James Human and Tom Fiore.
Now, see what the judges do. Yes, I saw it too.
Fiore with
that
the
time, he
right
came
hand
over
with the point.
He came over the hand and got the punch in that I believe he was trying to deliver it before.
Human with the point. It's now 1 for Human and a half. It was a half point for Di Fiore.
Yeah, that was a wazari, or punch control to the head. James's kick landed.
Human now leads it 2 to 1/2 over Tom Di Fiore. One more point. No, not awarding a point on that.
That was not awarded.
There's one right there with the clean kick, and it's now 2 1/2.
And Tom is going to be fighting for survival. He's got to get busy now. Great weight disadvantage here. James has a terrific kick, a very aggressive fighter. Tom has respect for that foot. Toramason.
Trails it by a half. It's 2 to 1.5. Human holding on to the half-point lead.
Demonstrates great ability by being able to get that kick in while someone is attacking.
This is the Sparring Grand Championship.
A lightweight against a heavyweight. Oh, signaling that his glove has fallen off. The match is stopped. Thomas, great resilience. Oh.
Human with the right hand may have wrapped this one up.
Ouch. Clash. Nope. Got it.
And that's it. The right hand does it for James Human. He wins it 3 to 1.5 to take the Sparring Grand Championship.
James acknowledging Tom's battle, motioning, indicating that he did a great job.
And the heavyweight comes away as the king of the Sparring Grand Championship, James Human.
I think James has enough of these trophies to fill a room.
He keeps getting trophies that size. It won't take long to fill a room.
Rick is very proud of James. James is his protege. He's very proud. Coming from the dojo, working as an apprentice just in the dojo, to a graduate of SSU Law School and a job with a prestigious law firm here in our area. James has done great credit to himself outside the ring and inside the ring.
The winner of the 1993 Grand Champion Sparring, Sir James Human.
He will be presented now with the flag to take back to his dojo.
That's correct. Great job. Everybody's very proud of James. I think there's going to be some serious partying tonight, Brian.
Mr. Shinjo will officially present him with the grand champion flag.
What a great honor. Tempering a body of steel with the fire of your will.
James Human, your sparring grand champion, will take a timeout and be back to wrap this tournament up in a moment. Brian Ungston, Dave Shapiro back with you at Clearwater High School, where we just witnessed the 1993 Uechi Ryū Karate National Black Belt Championships. James Human won the sparring. Mike Nazer won the kata. It was a tremendous evening.
It was a wonderful evening. You know, there are a couple of observations. We saw the absolutely most authentic expression of Okinawan karate tonight with masters from the island of Okinawa. The people who are absolutely the best of the best, respected in their own country and respected throughout the world for their abilities. We saw intense, full contact sparring with the only protection being a mouthpiece, a cup, and very, very small gloves, and not one serious injury. A credit to the combatants, the control and discipline that they express, and yet how tough they are. The breaking, the conditioning that you saw, tempering a body of steel with the fire of their will. Uechi Ryū Okinawan karate at its best.
Dave Shapiro, I'd like to thank you for joining us and lending your expertise. I want to thank everyone out there for joining us. We'll wrap everything up right now. Thanks to Rick Martin for making this happen, my director Tad Briegel, producers Glenn and Nancy Westcott, everybody here at Vision Cable. Until next time, take care, everyone.
Good night.